Hey, hi guys, this is Bakka Pachincholikar. Welcome back to Test Automation Tool Selenium. In this Selenium C Sharp NUnit tutorial, we have a high level agenda for the today is how to execute Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script in parallel. Then we'll discuss what is order attribute. Then we'll discuss ignore attribute. Basically, in the first point, how to execute Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script in parallel. This is with respect to parallel testing. Order attribute is nothing but giving the priority for Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script, and ignore attribute is nothing but basically we have just consider 50 test scripts. In that, because of the existing defect in open status, we will be ignoring some of the test scripts from the test suite. Let us jump to the User Studio. Let me create one new class here. Just I'll copy this test class. I'll rename the class name as parallel testing. Then I'll copy that class name and I need to replace the class name. That's it. Just I'll delete this inherited class name, and also I'll delete other methods as well. Okay, that's all, and I'll delete this another set of statements. So basically this will these two statements to identify the email text field and to enter something into this particular uh, a Facebook email field. So you will use the same set of statements. Before that, I need to create one utility class. Let us create one simple folder here. So here I'm adding one simple folder, not in the solution. We need to add it in the, let me remove this. I'll add one folder to this particular project called utilities. Under that, I will create one more class. So here I'm specifying the class name as browser utility. That's all. Just click on add. So I'll open the browser utility class. So in this particular class, just I'm specifying the class name as public. That's it. And what I will do is I will create a simple method so that returns me the browser, that opens a browser, and it will maximizes the browser, and it will enter that particular mentioned URL, and it will goes to that particular URL. So whenever I call to this particular method, so it returns me the driver object. So that's the reason I'm creating one method here, public, that is WebDriver, return type. Then I'm specifying the method name as init. So this accepts the browser object, WebDriver, and the driver. That's it. Just import the relevant classes. Just press click on that particular WebDriver and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard. So you will get set of options here. Just click on the using OpenQA.Selenium. That's it. So this particular method, whenever I call to this particular method, this is going to return me the driver object. That's all. So what I will do is, here I am creating the object of the Chrome browser by using a new operator. Then I'll assign that to the WebDriver interface. By using this, I will call to the one method called URL. After launching this particular browser, we need to enter the URL. So let me copy it from the previous Selenium C# NUnit tutorial. So these statements we have, just to copy these statements. So we have already created this particular object. Let me copy this. You need to import the Chrome driver class. Just click on that Chrome driver and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard, and same way just import the OpenQA.Selenium.Chrome. That's all. So this particular three statement, what it does is, first line it opens the Chrome browser, then it maximizes the Chrome browser, then it enters the facebook.com. Then type of this particular method is WebDriver type. So we need to return the particular driver object, so that's the reason I'll use the return statement. Return, we need to return this particular statement, I mean the driver. That's all. So we have one class browser utility. Under that we have one method called init. Whenever I call to this particular init method, this open up Chrome browser and it maximizes and it enters this particular URL and it returns you the driver object. That's all. Let us go to the parallel testing. So what I will do is, so let me give the some group name here. Instead of smoke testing, I'll give UAT testing, and I'll specify one more group name as category as module 1. So this means this particular test case belongs to the module 1. So that's the reason I'm specifying the module name as module 1. That's all. So this particular 2 lines of statements, it is going to identify the email field, text field. Then after that it is going to enter this particular value by using the send keys. So before that I need to launch the web browser, right? So just now which we have created a method, this is going to return me the browser and the entered URL. So we need to call to this particular method. So what I will do is, I'll create the object of browser utility and then I'll call to init method. So new, this is the operator. So here I'm creating the object of browser utility class. That's all. Just import the relevant the related packages. Same way, just click on this browser utility and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard. Here you can see the using Selenium C# tutorials.utilities. So basically this particular class exists under the utilities folder if you look at here. So select this particular first line. Then I'm going to call one method called init. So this particular method takes the driver object, because just now we have created this particular method which accepts the driver and it will returns you the browser driver type. So that's the reason what I will do is I'll create the what ID WebDriver interface reference variable as driver, and same driver reference variable I'll pass it over here. So this particular method, it will returns as the driver object. So I need to store that driver into the one variable. So in C# we have a var that is capable of holding the any kind of values. So what I will do is I'll use a var. Here I'll specify the variable name. So this particular method returns me the driver object. So that's the reason I stored that driver object into the driver by using the var. So if you're this particular keyword will be used when if you are not sure about the method which is going to return the value. Say for example, whenever we have a add method, we have assume that we have a add method, so that returns you the addition of two numbers values. So next time when we have a add method, it may returns you the float value, double value sometimes. So in such situation, if you're not sure about the value which is going to return you, in that kind of situation you'll be using the var keyword. That's it. By using this driver object, I'll find this particular web element, that is email field. Let me open the browser. So we are identifying this particular email text field. Let me inspect it. So if you take this particular value, just click on the HTML tags and press Control F. Then here you will be seeing this particular text box. You paste that value. It is identifying the email text field. So this XPath we have wrote in the previous Selenium C# tutorial. Then we are entering some values into this particular text box. That's all. This utility opens the the Chrome browser and it maximizes it and it enters this URL. Then it will returns you the driver object. So that's all. Once we have opened the browser and we are entering some values to in web page element, then we need to close that particular browser. So that's the reason I'll use the driver object dot close. That's it. So we have only single method, that is called test method 1. This particular test method belongs to the UAT testing group and the model 1 group. So let us run it as a single test, and we'll create multiple tests, and we'll discuss how to launch multiple browsers, based on the instances which you have mentioned. Say for example, if you have a 50 test scripts, you want to launch 20 browsers at a time. If you want to run 20 scripts at a time, so that can be done. So just we'll run this particular script to make sure that if it is working fine, we will take the same test method and we'll paste it as a 10 methods, and we'll execute all the 10 test scripts at the same time. So let us clean this particular solution. Then rebuild the solution. Now here you'll be able to see that there are two groups separately, UAT testing and the model 1. So we have test method 1 and in both of the modules. Just I'll try to run the module 1 test method 1. Yes, it is launching the web browser and it is simply entering some values and it is simply closing the web browser. So let us copy this particular test method 1. Just I'm copying it and just I'm pasting it. Just a second. Okay. Here I'm going to create a same test method. I mean the same functionality as a 10 test methods. So just here I'm just renaming the test method names. Test method 2, test method 3, test method 4, test method 5, 6, then test method 7, test method 8, test method 9, test method 10. That's it. So I will delete rest of the methods. So here I have total created 10 test methods. What I'll do is just I'll clean this particular solution, clean solution. Before that we need to write at assembly level as a parallel instance to run. If say for example if I wanted to run 2 test method at a time, so let me specify that. So this is basically with respect to the parallel testing we need to specify. So what you need to do is you click on this properties. Under properties you will be seeing assembly info.cs. Click on that. You need to write here as assembly colon. Before that you need to import one statement that is called, we are using the NUnit attributes. So that's the reason here you need to using, by using statement you need to import a NUnit framework, NUnit.framework. That's it. So whatever here I'm writing these statements are comes from the NUnit framework. That's the reason I have imported NUnit.framework. So assembly colon, then you write parallelizable. Under that we need to write parallel scope dot, we need to specify it as a children. Why we need to specify it as children is we are running our test methods. Here we are treating test attributes as a children's. So basically to define test attributes, that's all. This is a one statement and we need to write one more statement so that where we can specify how many browsers we want to launch. So that's the reason here I'm just writing the comment it as number of browsers. Same way we need to write the assembly here because we are specifying at assembly level, assembly colon. One more command it will come called level of parallelism. This particular method it accepts the integer value. If you look at here it accepts the integer value. So here you need to specify how many browsers you wanted to launch at a time. So in my case I will tell 4 browsers at a time. So this is a one statement to represent the test attribute as a children's. So here this particular level of parallelism, it takes a number of instances that has to be launched. So in my case I have specified it as a 4. That's it. You need to remember these two statements if you want to run your test scripts in parallel. So let us clean this particular solution. Here you are getting one error. Let me check that. So if you are getting this error, what you need to do is go to the command prompt, type cmd here. You need to kill this particular process. So because that particular process is still running, so just type task kill /m f then im followed by chrome driver.exe. So this particular command will be used for to kill that particular chrome driver.exe. If you press, you are getting process that has been terminated successfully. Try to clean this particular solution, rebuild the same solution. If you look at here, level of parallelism is 4. That is what we have specified under this particular properties and assembly info.cs. So that is nothing but at a time 4 browsers will be opened. So we have total 13 test scripts, and at the same time it is able to launch 4 test scripts. So if you go to model 1, if you remember, we have created 10 test scripts. So here all the test methods are listed: test method 1, test method 2, test method 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Here I mean the total 10 test methods are exist under the model 1. If we look at UAT testing also, because we have grouped this particular test methods into 2 groups, UAT testing and the model 1. These test methods are belong to the UAT testing and the model 1. So I'll consider this model 1 as for execution. So what you need to do is just right click on this, run selected test. So if I run this particular test, it will launch us 4 browsers at a time. In first set it will execute first 4 test methods, and the second set it will execute next 4 methods, and it will execute next 2 methods in the third iteration. So let us execute this particular module test cases. If you look at here down, it has launched you the 4 browsers. Three test scripts got executed. Now again another 4 test cases going to execute. If you look at here, again 4 browsers got opened. So basically whenever you are doing a parallel testing, it reduces the time. Say for example, if you have it 50 test scripts, each of the test scripts are taking 5 minutes. So that is going to takes you the very long time to execute all the 50 test scripts. If you have set up with the parallel testing concept, it will take very less time. So if you look at here, 10 test methods got passed. If you look at the model 1, all the test methods got passed here. So this is a particular model 1 test scripts got executed with respect to the level of parallelism as a 4. So what I will do is now I'll make it as a 10. So this particular module 1 will be executed at the same time, all the test methods, because here I'm specifying level of parallelism as a 10. So it will launches me the all the 10 browsers, all the 10 test methods will be executing at the same time. So let us execute the same command, because if process is still alive, just kill those processes by entering this particular task kill /f /im, then followed by the chrome driver.exe. Say for example, if you are working with respect to the chrome IE browser or Firefox browser, just you need to change this particular driver.exe name. That's all. Okay, let us clean it and we'll run the module 1 Selenium C# NUnit automation scripts. So this time it is going to launch you the all the 10 browsers at the same time, because we have mentioned level of parallelism as a 10. So let us rebuild solution. Okay, so if you look at here, level of parallelism is 10. So it is going to launch you the 10 browsers at a time. In this particular solution we have total 13 test methods. So I will run this all the test methods under the module 1. Right click on that particular module 1 and select run selected test. So if you observe here in the taskbar, it has launched all the this 10 browsers at the same time. These are the next set of 4 browsers. If you go forward, backward, here 4 browsers are there and here 4 browsers are there. I think another 2 browsers are got, I mean the test methods got maybe passed. That's the reason it is not showing over there. I highly recommend you to implement this particular concept in your automation framework, so that will be helping you a lot in smoke testing and executing your Selenium C# NUnit automation scripts. So if you look at here, 2 test methods got failed, invalid operation or something it is saying. So that's fine. This is how you can do parallel testing. In the same way, you can, what you can do is under the utilities folder you can create with respect to the browser. Say for example, I have created this method for the Chrome browser. In the same way, you can copy it and paste it, and you can create the utility method for the Internet Explorer browser, and you can call it that method in the test methods wherever you are required, wherever a specific test you want to execute in different browsers like Firefox browser, Safari browsers, IE browsers, like that. So this is how you can do parallel testing.